Welcome to the Sports Simulation Spectator. My name is Michael Green, and do I have a treat for you? Today, we bring to you the very first series of Backyard Battle Curveball Clash, the tabletop game of the game with the plastic ball and bat. Made by Brien Martin and Hot Stove Games. This is a print and play game that's modeled around the plastic ball and bat league that exists in the Midwest that you might know from YouTube and the internets, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, all that stuff. Uh, the rules are a little bit different from baseball. A lineup has a total of 4 players in it: a pitcher, a shortstop, a first baseman, and an extra hitter. There are still 3 outs, but they only play 3 innings. Pitchers are not allowed to pitch more. I should reset. Teams play a 3-game series at any given time. No pitcher is allowed to pitch more than 6 innings in a series, so that comes into play. Your lineup, like I said, is a total of 4 players large, and this game is built around checking to decide whether or not the batter or the pitcher took control of the at-bat to determine the results. Brien did make player cards for the different players that showed up throughout a handful of seasons, 2019, 20, and 2021, I believe. But I ended up giving all the players fictional names so that we could make it our own here a little bit. And we're going to go through and play. I will explain what I'm looking at as I'm playing through an at-bat or two, but then we're going to pick up and play for realsies. So I will also, full disclaimer, I don't actually have any scorebook with me. I'm not at my normal recording space, so I'm going to be writing down some real ugly notes, so forgive me as I keep track, because I am looking to keep track of those stats. If this is something that you find interesting, like, or want to know more, please like and subscribe, and feel free to leave some comments below so that we can bring you more of the type of stuff that you want to be checking out. Now, without further ado, we are looking at the very first at-bat in the Brickyard Battle Curveball Clash League here on Sports Simulation Spectator. Your matchup is between the Riverfront Raiders and the Downtown Dynamos. Your lineup for the Raiders is number 16, Seth Horton, number 11, Axel Edie, number 27, Waylon Queen, and number 8 and pitching, Troy Gibson. And your pitchers your players for the Downtown Dynamos, pitching is Mr. Peyton Braxton, Antonino Suero, number 4, number 17, Armand Schwartz, and number 3, Elwin Herberts. Braxton is starting game 1. Gibson is starting game 1. And here we go. So on a turn, what we're actually going to be doing is reading these dice in 2 different sets. They're going to be read in the order of black and yellow to determine the outcome of an at-bat, based on who is in control of that at-bat. And then red and blue will be used in case we need to read it all from this chart to determine the type of out or the type of hit that was put into play by the batter. But typically I'm going to be rolling all 4 dice just because it's easier that way. So what we're going to be looking at here is, in the very first step of an at-bat, is comparing the at-bat numbers. So our pitcher number here is a 76. Seth Horton has a modifier of +2. So that means the number we're looking at for this at-bat is a 78. When we take our 2 dice that we've rolled, we read them in ascending order, or not ascending, in order. That's why you need to have 2 different colored dice so you can choose an order. Like I said, I'm using black and yellow. This is a 62. If the number you've rolled comes at or under the number that is the modified number, the pitcher controls the at-bat. If it comes in above it, the batter controls the at-bat. In this case, this 62 is less than a 78, so Peyton Braxton controls the at-bat. We're going to roll again and make the same comparison over here on the strikeout chart. So Braxton is an 86. Seth Horton has a +10 modifier, so that is a 96. We're going to make the same comparison on black and yellow, and it's a 17. If the number comes in underneath, it's a strikeout. If it comes in over it, it's a walk. So that's really the total outcome that can happen there on a pitcher in that case. So in this one, we got a 17 that is underneath. Peyton Braxton strikes out Seth Horton in his very first at bat. Axel Edie at the plate. We're looking at 76 minus 7, so that's a 69. And we've rolled a 52. So that means Braxton controls again. And the pitch from Braxton is a 98. Our number here is actually 86 plus 11, which is a 86 plus 11. That is a 97. And we rolled a 98. That means Braxton walks Edie. He just misses. And we got a man on first base. We're using pennies tonight to track our runners. We got Axel Edie on first base. Waylon Queen at the plate, 76 minus 12. We're looking at a 64 line. And that is an 89. The batter controls again. Or the batter controls. So, the way that this works is we're going to read the hit chart down here for Waylon Queen. If it comes in 0 to 44 on Queen's chart, it will be an out, and we'll use the red and blue dice to read this chart. If it comes in between 45 and 96, it's a hit, and we'll read the chart. If it comes in between 97 and 100, Waylon will have hit a home run, and we'll use the die to determine the home run location. So in this case, we're looking at a 23. 23 is less than 44. So Waylon Queen is out. Our table on our ground ball, let's see, fly ball is 6-0. And we rolled a 3. That is a fly out to the shortstop. And coming to the plate is Troy Gibson. 2 down. Man on first. We're looking at a 75. This is a 76 minus 4. That's a 72. And it is a 75. That means the batter controls. And Gibson's roll is a 93. And that ball is high and far and gone. That ball flew out to right field. Home run, Gibson. So we got 2 RBIs on that. My notes are going to be awful. 2 RBIs and a run scored there for Edie. Seth Horton now at the plate. And Braxton is looking to get him shut down. That is a 1. Which is going to come in under whatever number they come up there. So Peyton Braxton's in charge. We're looking at a 96. And that is a 72. And Braxton strikes out Horton for the second time. It is a 2-run lead to start the game for the Riverfront Raiders. Troy Gibson now in to pitch, facing Peyton Braxton, bottom of the first. So 69 is our number. That's a 75. The batter controls. And Braxton with a 67. That 67 is a hit. 67's a hit. So we're looking at red 6. That is a single to center. And Braxton is on first. Antonino Suero at the plate. 68 minus 23 is a 45. And that is a 94. That is the batter controlling. Antonino Suero with the control. That is an 11, and that is going to be an out. We're looking at 4 on the out chart. That's going to be a ground ball with a 2. Runner on first, 2. That is shortstop to first base, and the runner on first is out. So it's a fielder's choice. He's now on first, and he's been taken out. So we still got a runner on first. It's now Suero on first. 68 plus 6. 74 is our line for Gibson versus Schwartz. So that is a, what did I say, 74? And that's a 77. The batter controls. And that is a 22. That is an out for Schwartz. I forget what our number was. I wasn't looking at it, so we're going to roll the red and blue again. It's a 51. Since it's an out, we're looking at a 5. Yep. 5. That is a ground ball, and then a 1. The shortstop lead runner is out. So in this case, it's a shortstop unassisted. Lead runner is out, and that means it's another fielder's choice, and it's now Schwartz on first. No. Yes, because Braxton got the single. Yeah, my notes, they're hard. Gibson pitches to Herberts. It's a 68 plus 9. That's a 77. 77 is our line. That's an 88, and guess what? Batter controls again. And that is a 37, and just under that outline, we're looking at a ground ball. Shortstop unassisted, and he is down. That is no runs scored. It is 2-0. Next batter up is not Horton because he struck out. It is Edie. Axel Edie in to face Peyton Braxton. Top of the second inning. Braxton pitches to Edie. 69 is our line. We're looking at a 67. Peyton Braxton controls. The 97 is the strikeout. And it's a 48, and Braxton strikes out Edie. 1 down for Waylon Queen. That is a 64 line. That's a 95. Waylon Queen controls the at-bat. That is a 18, and he is out. We're looking at a 2. It's a ground ball. Out shortstop to third. So that is an out. I'm not tracking where the hits go, but that's what ended up happening. And now we got Peyton Braxton facing against Troy Gibson. So our line is a 72. We've just rolled a 54. Braxton controls. And that is a 66. That is a strikeout for Braxton. And that puts them away in order. Braxton to lead off. Gibson back on the mound. We are headed to the bottom of the second inning. Still 2-0 Raiders. This is a 69 line. We're looking at a 100. So in that case, that is, oh, you know what? That's one I have to look at. I want to confirm. It's just higher. So there's nothing special about it being a 100, I don't believe. Checking one more spot on my paper. Yeah, it's just a 100 in this case. 00 is a 100. So that means that it is, my brain just stopped working. We're looking at a 69. It is the batter controls Peyton Braxton with a 44, and he is out. That's a 1-1. That's an out to the shortstop. Braxton is put away. 1 down. Troy Gibson pitches to Antonino Suero. We're looking at a 45 as the line. And that is an 88. Bad news. Suero controls the at-bat. It is a 47, and Suero is down. That is a fly ball to the pitcher. 2 away. And Armin Schwartz at the plate. That is a 74 is the line, and that's a 38. So Gibson controls. 69 minus 8, 61 is the line, and it is a 11, and that is a strikeout for Gibson. And we are headed to the top of the third with Horton coming to the plate. And that was Schwartz that was just out. So Herberts will be up next. And we'll get Swearer. I'm trying to figure out a good way to keep track of the lineup in the player card. It's not Swearer that's even pitching. It is Braxton that's pitching. So we'll get Braxton inserted back into that lineup here in a second. Braxton pitches to Horton. Yes, here in the top of the third. And this is a 78 as the line. We're looking at an 80. That means the batter controls. And Horton with an 85. That ball is high and far and gone to right field. And Horton with a home run gets the RBI, gets the run scored. And it is 3-0 Riverfront. Axel Edie comes to the plate. It is a 69 line. We're looking at a 93. Edie controls. Edie controls. And that is a 7. That's a 7, which means we are an out. And we are looking at a ground ball, no, a fly ball on the special fly ball table. We need to re-roll a die here, I guess. Special fly ball table. Boom. It's a 4. Foul out to the shortstop. That is a foul out. I want to double check to make sure I got that in the right order there. I believe that I did. Supplemental results. Need to re-roll it a second time, yeah. So they would want me to use the blue die, but I used red. It's okay. So that's Edie fouling out. It's 1 down. Waylon Queen coming to the plate. So far, Queen is 0 for 2. This is a 64. We're looking at a 43. Braxton controls. This is a 106, so I don't even really need to roll it. We're looking at a K for Braxton. And Troy Gibson come to the plate. Gibson had that bottom of the first inning, or top of the first inning home run. This is a 72. That's a 51, and the control belongs to Braxton. It is an 86. This is another high strikeout, and Braxton with the K, and that is one more run, and it is now 3-0 as Gibson comes to pitch, and we're looking at a lineup that goes Herberts, Braxton, Swearer, Schwartz. '77 is our line. That is an 83, and the batter controls. It's Herberts in control of this pitch, or this at bat. It is a 74. No, it is a 47. It is still a single. And we're looking at 8. That is a single to right field. That is a single for Herberts. And a man on first. Looking to get the rally started. Peyton Braxton facing off against Troy Gibson. Braxton has a single so far today. That is a 21, and we're looking at a 69. So Gibson controls. Our strikeout is a 46. And that is a big ol' walk. That's a walk. So Braxton has walked and gotten on base. 2 men on for Antonino Suero. This is a big at-bat because Gibson and Suero, 68 minus 23, it's 45. That's a 73. That means Suero controls the at-bat. That is a 56. And that's a single to, no, it's a fly ball to 8. And we're looking at number 9. Hold on. Nope, I'm reading the wrong chart. We're looking at a single. That is a 56, which puts it in the single. We're looking at a single, which is a red 8. That is a single to right field. And the runners move one base. I'm assuming the R+1 means they're moving one base. That's a single. That's how we're going to treat it. Because it doesn't say anything about it being the lead runner. It doesn't say anything about getting 2 bases because there's a special single table down here where the lead runner gets 2. So in this case, it is just a single. So we got the bases juiced. Suero with a single. And Schwartz, Armand Schwartz coming to the plate. And so far there are no outs. No outs. The pitch by Gibson. That is an 86. And he has a 74. Schwartz controls. And that is a 35. That is an out on the ground ball table for a 7. If there's a runner on first, pitcher to first, batter is out, everyone else moves up. So this is a ground out for Schwartz, ground out, but he gets an RBI, and he's out on first. That means that Braxton scores. Everybody moves up, and there's one man down. These stats are going to be terrible. So now it is 3-1. Gibson pitching to Herberts. That's a 13. He'll be in the clear. Gibson controls. And that is a 1. That is going to be a strikeout. I don't even need to do the looking. That is a K. So that is Herberts. Nope, it is. Yeah, it's Herberts with the K. So we got 1 ground out. We got a K. We got 2 outs here. 2 outs. 1, 2. And in that case, they strike out. And Peyton Braxton coming to the plate. We got a 69 as our line. It is a 6, which means Gibson controls. It is a 46. And that is a 57, and that is a walk. That is a walk. And Braxton walks. So we've got men on first, second, and third. And Suero's coming up to the plate. So one thing I'm not sure how this league works, I'm curious, but I'm not going to worry about it right at the moment, is they only have 4 batters, and in some cases they've only played with 3. What do they do if the bases are loaded or somebody's got to come in? Like, Suero is technically on base right now, so do they replace him? I don't know. So this is a 69, I'm sorry, a 68 minus 23. We're looking at a 45. And that is a 95. Suero controls. 69 plus 3, that's a 70. Nope, it's Suero controls. We're looking at a 42, and that is an out for Suero. 42, we're looking at the 7, that's a fly ball on the special fly ball table. Special fly ball table. There are 2 outs. This is a 5 foul out. And that is your ball game. With the bases left loaded, we have 1 run. So I'm going to quickly tally up these stats so that I get them right. We're looking at a 1 for 3 home run and RBI and a run scored. So Horton finishes 1 for 3 with a home run, an RBI, and a run scored. Edie finishes 0 for 2 with a walk and a run scored. Queen finishes 0 for 3. And Gibson finishes 1 for 3 with a home run, 2 RBI, and 1 run scored. For the Dynamos, Braxton finishes 0 for 1 with 2 walks, and a run scored. That should be right. We're looking at Suero finishes... No, I'm sorry. Braxton actually finished... Braxton finished 1 for 2 with a walk. Did I write that right? So they went 0 for 4, put okay, and then we started with Herbert's and walked. Yes, that's right. So he went 1 for 2. 1 for 2 with a single, a put out. Yep, that's right. Then we got a Suero went 0 for 4. For 4. No, went 1 for 4. 1 for 4 with a single. Schwartz went 0 for 3 with an RBI. And Herbert's went 2 for 3. That looks right. Cool. So, our first game, the Raiders won 3 to Dynamos 1. Man, my bookkeeping is really bad. I apologize. It's a good thing you don't have to see these terrible notes. Moving on to our second game of the series, we are going to keep the same lineups that we had before. Like I said, some of these teams only have 3 or 4 players on them, so there's not much pinch hitting. Teams are allowed to dress upwards of 6 players, so that's why the Downtown Dynamos do have Finn Nye as an option, but I don't have him playing. So in our second game here, the game is being pitched by Waylon Queen is going to be our pitcher for the Riverfront Raiders. And our pitcher for the Dynamos, the Downtown Dynamos, is going to be Armand Schwartz. But our batting lineup is going to stay the same. Braxton, Suero, Schwartz, Herberts. So let's lead off game number 2. The pitch from Waylon. It is an 82 is our first line. 82. That's a 57. And Queen controls. That's a 61 minus 23. 51, 41, 38. Woof. 38. And that is a walk to start the game. So Braxton leads off with a walk. I'm going to try and remember how to do my bookkeeping. Antonio Suero comes to the plate. Antonino. That's even the name I gave him. It is a 65, I'm sorry, an 81 minus 23, 81, 71, 61, 58 is our line. And that is a 48, and queen controls for a 64. And it is 64 on the dot, and queen strikes him out. One down. I don't remember how to actually keep track of the outs. My bookkeeping skills are lacking right at the moment. Wailing Queen facing, this is an 87. And he rolls a 92. Armin Schwartz is going to control this at bat. Oh, we didn't put a marker out for Braxton to be on first. And that is a 21. That is an out. 21, we're looking at the ground ball chart with a 0 with the base man on first. Batter is out. Runner moves up. So we're just going to write out. I'm not going to worry about how they got there. But I can say that he moved up here, and now he's on second. So Braxton's up there at second. We are Elwin Herberts looking at a 90 as our line. And that's a 29. Wailing Queen controls for a 50, 54. That's a 78, and that is a walk for Herberts. Like I said, so this is a case where Braxton technically is at bat, and I'm not quite sure what they end up doing for it. So does he end up knocking in the... Here, I've actually got the league here. I can go check the rule book. I'm curious. I need to know. Dimensions, gameplay, mercy rule, batting. There are intentional walks. Field rules, base running. So it says, if a team has multiple base runners on, they may switch positions if desired. An active player. Oh, okay. So it is someone being as a courtesy. So technically in this case, I guess Braxton can knock himself in. With a team with a 3-man lineup, Ghost Runners serve when necessary. Ghost Runners advance as many bases as they're forced. So yeah, I guess he can knock in himself. So that's a little bit weird on the bookkeeping side, but that's what's going to end up happening here. So Braxton is up to bat. Wailing Queen with an 82 as the line. That's a 34, and Queen controls. Queen controls, that is a 61. 51, 41, 38 is our line. That's a 74, and that's another walk. Another walk. So we've got moved here, and we got another walk on. And Suero up to the plate with the bases loaded and 2 outs. This is a 71, 61, 58 is our line. That is a 9, and Wailing Queen controls. He might get out of this jam. That's a 64 is the line, and that is an 18, and he is able to strike out Suero for the second time. So, those runners do not come around to score, and that is 1/2 inning down. So it goes Horton, Edie, Queen, Gibson. Great. The bases are left loaded. And we go Braxton's, no, our pitcher is Armand Schwartz pitching. All right, we are looking at a 54 is the line, and that is a 12. Armand Schwartz controls. It's a 74 is the line, that's a 38, and that is a strikeout of Horton to start us off. Axel Edie coming to the plate. 52 minus 7 is a 45 is the line, and it's a 50, which means Edie controls. Edie controls, and that is a 24. That is an out on the fly ball table with a 7. That's a fly out for the first baseman, and Edie is down. That is 2 outs with Waylon Queen coming to the plate. Whoop. 52 minus 12. We're looking at a line of 40 for this at bat, and that is a 43. Queen controls, and that is a 29, and that is a out. That is a ground ball to the shortstop, thrown over to first, and that is 1, 2, 3 here in the first. After 1, it is 0-0 with Armand Schwartz coming to the plate. So it goes Braxton, Suero, Schwartz, Herberts, and Schwartz is up. So he's batting. Our pitcher is Mr. Queen. And here we go. Top of the second. This is an 87. It's a 53. Waylon Queen controls. 61 minus 8. A 53. And it is a 66, and that is a walk. Schwartz is on first. Elwin Herberts. This is a 90 line. That's a 27, so Queen controls. 61 minus 7 is a 54. That's a 78, and that is another walk. And Herberts is on first. Got a walk. He moves up to second. Peyton Braxton. So we're talking an 82 is our check number. And that is an 83. Peyton Braxton has control of this at bat. And it is a 22 on the fly ball chart to the pitcher. And Braxton is out with men on first and second. Antonio Suero coming to the plate. Ooh, my chart. We're looking at an 81, 71, 61, 58. It's a 31, and Waylon Queen controls. 64 is our line. It's a 23, and that is a strikeout of Suero. He has the golden sombrero. Oh, no, that's not golden sombrero. That's a 3 strikeouts today. And Schwartz coming up to try to get something out of these walks from Queen. It is a 89 is our number. 87 is our number. And it's a 10. Waylon Queen controls. It's a 53. And that's an 84. That is another walk. Whoop. 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 And the bases are loaded on walks again. And here comes Herberts. 2 men down. This is a 90 for Queen. And it's a 44. Queen's in charge. But we're looking at another 61 minus 7. 54. And it is a 68, and he walks a man home. So that is a run scored for Schwartz. Herbert moves around. We got another walk. He comes up, and that's an RBI for Herberts. Bases are still loaded for Braxton. This has not been a good game for Mr. Queen. We are at an 82. That is a 49, and he controls. And this number is going to get real tiny real quick. We're looking at a 61, 51, 41, 38. And it is a 93. That is another walk. That. This is an that. And this is a walk for Braxton. Gets on base with an RBI. So we got men on first, second, and third, and that is 2 runs here in this inning on many, many walks. 5 of them in the inning. Can Nye pitch? No, Nye cannot pitch. So I'm assuming there is some way for me to be able to switch pitchers, but we're going to stick with this for the first game. Wayland's got to get out of this mess. It's a 81 minus 23, 71, 61, 58. It's a 91. Suero controls the at-bat. Stop it. And it's a 16, and Suero cannot do anything with it. We're looking at the 9. That is a fly out to the first baseman. And Suero is done. We got 1, 2, 3. That is 3 outs. We're looking at 2 runs and 3 left on base. Heading to the bottom of the second inning. Still pitching is Mr. Schwartz. And our lineup goes Gibson, Horton, Edie, Queen. Pitch from Armin Schwartz here in the bottom of the second. We're looking at a 48. And it's an 83. Troy Gibson controls. And it's a 78. That is a hit on the 9 chart to right field. And that is a single for Gibson. Man on first. Schwartz pitching to Horton. That is a 65. Our number is actually a 54. Horton controls. And that is an 11. That's going to be an out. That is a ground ball to shortstop to first. The runner on first is out. So that means it is a fielder's choice for Horton. And he's cut down. I'm not sure how to track that. We're just going to... He's out. I don't know how to track that. So we're just going to say it didn't happen there. He's cut down. Fielder's choice. Edie. 52 minus 7 is 45. That's a 97. Edie controls with a 78. That is a single on the 0 chart. Special single. Right? Am I being silly? No, that's a hit. That's a single. And then we go to special single. We're reading blue. That is a single, but unfortunately the lead runner is cut down. That's a single, so that is a hit. But then trying to advance, Horton is cut down. And there's still only a man on first with 2 down and Edie on first. 52 minus 12. This is a 40 for Schwartz. That's a 31, and Schwartz controls. This is an 84. 87. Waylon Queen walks. Edie moves to second. And Schwartz is pitching to Gibson. We're looking at a 48. That is a 29, and Schwartz controls. 64 plus 16. That's an 80. That's a 35, and that is a strikeout for Schwartz of Troy Gibson. So that is the end of the inning. No one comes around to score. And pitching is Mr. Queen. And our lineup we had just finished. It's going to go Schwartz, Herberts, Paxton, Suarez. Schwartz, I mean. All right, we are in the top of the third inning. It is currently 2-0 Dynamos. 81 plus 6, that is an 87. We're looking at a 69, and Wailing Queen controls. 61 minus 8 is a 53. That's a 14, and that is a strikeout of Schwartz. 1 down. Herbert's at the plate. That's a 90. And we got a 57. Queen controls. 61 minus 7. 54. That's a 69, and that's a... These walks are going to kill Queen this year if he can't get that under wraps. So we got a man on first with a walk. Up to bat is Peyton Braxton. We're looking at a 82. That's a 95, and Braxton controls, but he can't do anything with it. That is a 3 on the ground ball table of an 8. That is an out by the first baseman. Unassisted. Oh, with a runner on first, that's an 8. The runner gets a base. So that is Braxton. That's an out. And Herberts moves up, so he gets to move up a base. And Suero comes to bat. 58 is our line, and that's a 35. Wailing Queen's in control with a 64 this time around. Can he get a strikeout? He does. And Suero strikes out for the 4th time today. And that will do it for the 3 innings. That is a total of 2 runs for the Dynamos. Going to the bottom of the 3rd. Can the Raiders get anything going? So we got Horton, Edie, Queen, Gibson facing against Armand Schwartz. The pitch from Schwartz, 54 is the line. That is a 14, and that is pitcher controls. 74, it is a strikeout. And Horton, 1 down. Edie at the plate. 45 is our line. That's a 60. The batter controls. Edie, can he put it in play? Edie with a 27, and that is an out to the fly ball. Fly out to the shortstop, and Edie is down with Wayland Queen, the last hope for the Raiders. Pitch from Schwartz is a 40. That's a 54. Queen controls with a 76, and that's a single on the 9 chart. It's a fly ball, but it's a special fly. That's a 2. That's a single for Queen, and he keeps the inning alive with Gibson coming up. The pitch is a 48. That's the line. We're looking at a 14, and Schwartz controls. This is an 80 as the check. And that is a swing and a miss. And that is the ball game. Dynamos 2, Raiders nothing. So, our final lines from this game. Braxton. Braxton went 0 for 2 with 3 walks and an RBI. Suero went 0 for 5 with 4 strikeouts. Schwartz went 0 for 2, 2 walks, and a run. And Herberts went 0 for 0. He walked every time he was up with a run and a ribby. For the Raiders, Horton went 0 for 3. Edie went 1 for 3 with a single. Queen went 1 for 2 with a single and a walk. And Gibson went 1 for 3 with a single. All right, we are going to our rubber game. Game 3 is Raiders are the away team again. I didn't write these down, so I'm doing that now. I'm sorry. Dynamos, and we're going right back with that same lineup from game 1. So Braxton is going to pitch again. It's going to be Horton, Edie, Queen, Gibson. And the Dynamos are going to be Braxton, Suero, Schwartz, Herberts. And our pitchers are going to be Gibson and Braxton again. So let's get our lineups going. Gibson, it's going to go Horton, Edie, Queen, Gibson. And pitching first is going to be Braxton. Over on this side, we got our lineup of Braxton, Suero, Schwartz, Herberts. All right, rubber match. Tied 1-1 after the first 2 games. And the pitch from Braxton to Horton, we're looking at a 77. It's a 47 Braxton controls. The 96, and that is a strikeout of Horton to start the game. Axel Edie at the plate. This is a 69. That's a 51, and that is Braxton controls. 97 is our line. 60, that is another strikeout for Braxton. Edie goes down swinging, and Wailing Queen at the plate. 76 minus 12, that's a 64. That's a 99, so Wailing Queen controls. But he rolls a 4, and that is going to be an out. We're looking at a ground ball to the shortstop to first base. And after 1/2, the Raiders nothing, and the Dynamos come to the plate. So our pitcher is Mr. Gibson. Troy Gibson. '69 is our first number. And that is a 69 on the dot. So Gibson controls. Gibson controls. And it's a 69 minus 23. 59, 49, 46 is our strikeout number. It's a 61, so that's a walk. Braxton starts off with a walk. Up comes Suero. I didn't update my penny for my runners. Gibson 68, 58, 48, 45. That's a 57. Suero controls. It's a 45, and he's out. As a 5, we're looking at a runner on first. That's a ground ball. That's an 8. The runner moves up. So
Braxton moves up. Suero is out. Technically a fielder's choice, but I'm not tracking that. Armand Schwartz. The pitch from Gibson is a 74. Is the line. That is a 91. Schwartz is in control. And that is a 0. Oh, I'm sorry, a 10. That is an out. We're looking at 0 on the fly ball chart. That's right. And then an 8. That is a fly ball to the first baseman. That is an out for Schwartz. And Herberts is coming to the plate. Braxton's on second. 68 plus 9 is a 77. And we've got ourselves a 75. Gibson controls. 62 is our line, and that's an 86, and that is a walk. That's a walk. So we got Braxton on second. Herberts walks his way to first. And here comes Braxton to knock in Braxton. Gibson with a 69 line. We're looking at a 5. Gibson controls. 86, I'm sorry, 69 minus 23, 59, 49, 46. And it's a 40, and Gibson is able to K Braxton. And nobody scores. Runners come off. It's 0-0. All right. First batter of this inning is Troy Gibson against Peyton Braxton. We're looking at a 72 is our line, and that's an 83. Troy Gibson controls, but he does nothing with it. That's an 0-1 on the 1 ground ball chart with a 0. That's an out to the pitcher. 1 down. Seth Horton comes up. 78 is our line. That's a 75. Braxton controls. 96 is our number, and that is a 5. That's a strikeout of Horton. And here comes Edie. That's a 27, which is Braxton controlling. We're looking at 97 on the strikeout side. It's a 9, and that's another K. 2 more strikeouts in the inning. And up to bat, we're switching sides. Suero is coming to the plate. Suero, Schwartz, Herberts, followed by Braxton. To the mound is Troy Gibson. And Tonino Suero. We're looking at a 68 minus 23, 45. 68, 58, 48, 45. Yep. And it's a 41. Gibson controls. 72. And that's a strikeout for Gibson of Antonino Suero. Armand Schwartz at the plate. That's a 74. That's an 81, though. Schwartz takes control with a 23, and that is an out. I'm just going to double check to make sure there's nothing crazy. We're looking at a 9, which is a fly ball on the 3, fly out to the pitcher. And here comes Herberts, 2 down. It is a 77. That's an 85, and Herberts controls. Herberts controls. Yeah. With a 2. As another out, we're looking at the ground ball table with a 6. That is an out for Herberts. And nothing going. We are headed to the top of the 3rd inning. 0-0. Peyton Braxton back on the mound. Up to the plate is Waylon Queen. Queen Gibson. There we go. Can they break through on Paxton or Peyton Braxton? I keep calling him Paxton. The pitch. This is a 76, 64. It is a 39, and Braxton controls with a massive strikeout number. He is down on strikes. Wailing Queen goes down. One away for Troy Gibson. This is a 72. Which is a 61. Braxton controls. And that is a 27, which is another strikeout for Braxton. That is now 6 Ks for him in 8 outs. And Seth Horton, this is a 78 line. That is a 68. He stays in control. That's a 96. And he strikes out the side. He comes in with a vengeance. Peyton Braxton, we are heading to the bottom of the 3rd inning. It goes Braxton, Suero, Schwartz. 69, this is Troy Gibson. Probably both their last innings. We're looking at a 27. Yeah, because they both pitched. You can't pitch more than 6 innings. So we're looking at a 27. Gibson controls. 69, 59, 49, 46. That's a 79. That is a walk. That is not how you want to start this out. That is a walk for Braxton. Person on first for Antonio Suero. 58-45 is our line. And it's an 85. And Suero controls. It's a 52, and that's a hit on the single chart. That is a single to center. And Suero, with the single, moves Paxton up to second. Braxton up to second. And Armand Schwartz comes to the plate. We are looking at a 74 as our line. That is a Gibson control. 61 is our line. It is a 38, and that is a strikeout. So that is 1 down with 2 men on for Elwin Herberts. Our line is a 77. Give me the dice, please. Our 77 hopped out, but that is a 92. 92 means Herberts controls, and he gets himself a 47. Does that end this game? That is a single to center field, and the bases are loaded. They are juiced. For Peyton Braxton, bases are loaded, 1 out. And Peyton Braxton at the plate. The pitch by Gibson is a 76, and Braxton controls. And that is a 97. That ball is high. That ball is far. Oh, I didn't put a chip on. And that ball is... Just double check it. That ball is gone. That ball is a home run to left field. And Peyton Braxton has just hit a grand slam to win the 3rd game. Home run, 4 RBI, and a run, and a run, and a run, and a run. Bum, 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 bum. And the Dynamos come away with a victory 4-0 over the Riverfront Raiders. Troy Gibson ends up giving up the grand slam to finish the game. 1, 2, 3. That is how that's going to finish. The Dynamos finish. So that that actually ends up also being a no-hitter for Peyton Braxton. So could you believe that? Peyton Braxton hits a game-winning grand slam and no hits the Riverfront Raiders in Game 3. Horton went 0 for 3. Edie went 0 for 2. Queen 0 for 2. Gibson 0 for 2. There were 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 strikeouts in that at bat. For the Dynamos, Braxton went 1 for 2 with a 2 walks, a home run, 2 runs scored because that's funky, and 4 RBI. Suero went 1 for 3 with a run. Schwartz went 0 for 3. And Herberts went 1 for 2 with a walk and a run scored. So after our very first series here, we have the Dynamos at 2-1 and the Riverfront Raiders at 1-2. That I am impressed with how much I actually enjoy this game, I have to say. There's a little bit I need to figure out in terms of the little stars on the cards indicate overall usage. So I believe it's like if they have 3 stars for the pitcher, it means they can appear in between 10 and 15 games for a team for that many times. One thing I did notice is that there are players that only showed up once or twice, I believe, aren't carded at all. So there are some instances where some of the stuff is misbalanced just a little bit because they had a fill-in for one series or one game, something along those lines. But as I move through and continue to figure this out, I will figure that out. So, thanks for hanging out here with me for my first ever series of gameplay for Backyard Baseball Curveball Clash on the Sports Simulation Spectator. This has been Mike, and if you liked it, like and subscribe, all those good things, and I'll talk to you later for our next series when we get to it. Thanks, and I'll see you.